Hi there people, back with another sound video. We're going to take a look at a little bit of theory this time, and I'm going to look at notes and scales and keys and why some notes sound better together than others, and how you form chords from the notes. Now, with Western music and Western instruments, there are 12 notes, and on the guitar those 12 notes are formed by the frets going up the fretboard. So if we start on the low E here, that's one note, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then you get 13 and you're back to the same note, which is that low E, and there's another E there. So there are 12 notes in total. That's it, there's only 12 notes. All these other strings and the frets on fret positions on the strings are versions of those first 12 notes all the way up the neck. There are no other notes. There are different octaves, which are versions of the same 12 notes, higher or lower. So we have an E here, we have an E there. They're the same note, but it's just one is higher than the other, so it's in a different octave. Those are 12 notes, but that's called the chromatic scale. Now, most music that we hear is not based on a chromatic scale. We don't use all of those notes in a given song or piece of music, because not all those notes sound nice together. So we generally tend to use notes in what is called a scale, which is just a group, a certain portion of those notes, not all of them. Now, there's something called the major scale, which is what most music is based off, and that major scale consists of 7 notes, which are taken from the 12 notes. 7 of those notes sound good together. That's basically why we use them. The major scale is a collection of these 7 notes that just sound good together. Most music you will hear is based on the major scale, or variations of the major scale. We construct that scale in a special way. So let's look at one of those major scales. We'll start off on the 5th string, the A string here, and we'll go to the 3rd fret. That's a C note. Remember your C chord? That first note there, that's C. So to construct the major scale, we do it in a special way, and we do this with all major scales. We count from the first note up 2 notes. That's actually what you call a whole tone. If you count up 1 fret, that's a half tone. 2 frets is a whole tone. So we're going from the C note up 2 frets, 1 whole tone. That is the next note in the scale. We do that again. So we go from the D note and we go up 2 frets, 1 whole tone. We come to E, 3rd note of the scale. So we've got C, D, E. And then from the E, the pattern is you go up 1 fret, a half tone. And that takes you to F, the note F. And then from the F, you go up again 2 notes. 1 whole tone. And that takes you to G. And then from the G, you go up again 2 half tones. That takes you to A. And then from the A, you go up again 2 half tones. And that takes you to B. And then from the B, that's the last note of the scale, but we'll just go up 1 half tone, and that takes you back to C, the octave C, which is 1 octave above that lower C. So we have a group of 7 notes, 8 if you include the higher C, and it goes like this: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the octave C, which is the same note as that one but higher. That's a major scale. In fact, that's the C major scale because it starts on a C and it's a major scale. All those notes, they sound good together. I mean, they're like a family. Any one of those notes fits well with any other note of that scale, and so it said that they harmonize, they create harmony. You can actually make tunes up using those notes within that scale. So we have the scale here, and if you listen you can hear that the notes go well together if you start playing random notes in that scale. They all have a certain quality which makes them go together. If you start playing notes outside that scale, you'll hear that they sound off. I'll start with the scale notes and then I'll bung in one which sounds off, and you'll find that it's one outside the scale. Doesn't sound right, does it? Yeah, you see, there are certain notes which don't sound right together. That's because they're outside of the major scale.